Hi, can you hear me? Yay! Now some things are. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened there. I don't know if I was, because I tried connecting to my TV so I could see the comments better up there. But that's fine. We can do it this way. How are you tonight, love? I'm glad you're here. So, I had to change things up because my next door neighbors are having a graduation party. So I couldn't be in the labyrinth tonight or out by the fire pit because they're pool party in it. They're having a good time and it was really loud. And I didn't want all that distraction. So I came down here in my little relaxation area. And this is where we'll be for a lot of these chats. If we're not outside, we'll be here. Tonight I was going to do that. I'm glad you can hear me though. Now we just have to see if everybody can find me because I had to change links, unfortunately. And I don't think I tagged anybody when I started. So thank you. Come join me. This is like a giant couch harem style. I don't know if you can see. So it's nice and big. I got candles lit. So I need people to give me ideas too, so of some chats that we can have together at nighttime on Sundays. And it doesn't always have to be Sundays. What do you think? See, we can start out talking like this because you're here and it's just you and me. And then we can get into it. I didn't know what else to talk about. I've had a lot of questions about fairies. So I figured, okay, well, I'll answer some questions that I've been asked before. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to continue my spiel because I'll be able to put the link out there for people to watch if they can't join. I got to figure all this out. I don't, I love having the YouTube so we can have it for a while. But sometimes it's so much easier to be on Facebook and create an event and then put that out there. You know what I mean? I think I could actually create an event on Facebook and then put the link in the event that goes to the YouTube. You like how I say the YouTube? The fairy is a very good topic. Good, I'm glad you're here. So I made myself some little notes, things that I've been asked and stuff that I figured I'd just talk about. I've never been a teacher. This is hard for me to talk about things sometimes. I'm a chatter, but when it comes about like subjects, I could go on and on. But I try to keep it to these things to about 45 minutes to an hour sometimes. Unless we're like really going, it can last for however long. I thought so too. I figure it's really relaxing for me too. I have a really cool light, but it's keeps turning off and I don't really know why. I got it for Christmas from my mother. Bluetooth and it's not playing. Bluetooth, there we go. There she is. I just don't want it in my face. Whoops. So fairies. Whoops. I love fairies. A lot of us love fairies. I work with the fairies. I don't know how many people work with fairies. It took me a while to start to work with fairies because I didn't, I thought fairies were fairies, but hi, Kathleen. How are you? Lord, I finally got Well, the first link I had, it was, nobody could hear me. So I had to create another link and start again. So here we are. Welcome. And welcome to the replay viewers that do watch this. I'll put the link out there after for them that couldn't make it because I think tonight was hard for me to find. Hard for you to find me. You like the ambiance? Yeah. Well, that's why I created the twinkle dust behind me. And I got my fairy hair. I wanted to be in the labyrinth, but that's okay. So yeah, I get distracted. What was I saying? Fairies. What are they? What are fairies? What do you think fairies are? Fairies are mythical creatures, right? They say they're known to be like little beings with wings, and there's all different kinds, I guess, of fairies. That I don't know much about, but there are all different kinds of fairies. Um, I have encountered quite a few of them. Um, and it took me a long time to even see a fairy. Do you know what I mean? Because it took me a long time to figure out what it meant to see the fairies and connect with them and stuff. I think the Fae were messing with me. YouTube was saying I need to sign in. Yeah, see, that's the thing too. They will, and that's how I was going to talk about that at one point too. Um, but you know, the funny thing, I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people, I think, kind of think of them as negative, and they're afraid of them or afraid to work with them, but you don't really have to be. You know what I mean? I mean, you have to be cautious, of course, because they can be tricky and they can be mischievous, but you treat them good, they're going to treat you good. You know what I mean? And as you know, my whole entire backyard is fairy. My front yard is fairy. I've dedicated my whole entire like yard to fairies. I've got flowers. I've got everything that you can think of that they like. I've got bridges. I've got crystals. I've got labyrinths. I've got everything they love. And I like to leave offerings for them. So therefore, I've never really had anyone mess with me. I have one mischievous little one. She's a green fairy. And she's beautiful. She's sparkly. She's green, kind of like the pretty stars back there. She's just beautiful. Long dark hair when I see her, but she steals my thoughts all the time. She's very tricky. She's very mischievous. She's the one that moves my shit, and I love her. Think she's awesome, but she fucks with me. She's happy when I give her things. You know what I mean? If you leave them sparkly, pretty things, they do get happy. But if I neglect to leave things after a while, shit happens. I'm like, all right, all right. So, hi Krista, how are you? Yeah, I'm sorry about the first one that I started, it got, nobody could hear me, so I had to start over again. So I'm glad you could find me. I literally just started. So I think it's all in how you work with them. I mean, I created such a beautiful magic land, and I sit in my labyrinth, I talk to them, I leave them offerings. A lot of people wonder, you know, what kind of offerings do you leave them? They like lots of different things. They love sparkly things. They love coins. Mine particularly like dimes. So a lot of dimes. They like crystals. They love crystals. When you're leaving an offering, they love honey. They love fruit. They love, what's the other one there that I was going to say? They love honey, they love fruit, like any kind of fruit, dried fruit or whatever. I usually leave dried fruit. Trying to see what you're saying at the same time, sorry. Yay. Yeah, these are the things I do. Over my bridge is actually where I used to do it before I had the labyrinth. Now sometimes I'll leave them the offerings in the labyrinth, like in the middle or on in the entrance. But they like wine. They like, if you take an, this is really cute actually. If you take an acorn and you take the top off the acorn, you put a little bit of wine or even juice if you don't have wine or champagne. They like sweet. They love that. You can leave that as an offering as well. Meat, believe it or not. Some of the fairies like meat, which is kind of weird. People are like, really, meat? But those are for like the huntress, kind of fairies. So there's all different types of fairies, like I said before. I don't know exactly every single one of them. They're also very helpful too, you know, like wishes and spells. They help in spell casting. Let me move this out of my face. Is that better? Can you still see it though? What was I gonna say? Wishing, spell casting. I wrote this down because I wanted to tell you guys things, and this helps my memory. You guys know me and my brain farts. Oh, and I wanted to tell you this too, that when you do leave them an offering, don't take it back. That's one thing you can't do that will upset them. You know, if you end up taking an offering back, you just want to leave it there. You can trade, but you can't take it back. That's kind of does upset them. Homes is another thing I wanted to talk about. Some people are like, well, you know, where do they live on your property? We put up decorative birdhouses on the trees. We have all different colors. And actually, some of the birds use the birdhouses. I'll take you out there one of these days and show you. Actually, I'll take a little video after if it's still nice out or daylight out. But yeah, we have birdhouses. So they love stuff like that, colorful. I have a whole fairyland with moss, and I have the little fake houses and stuff like that that they like. Here, I wanted to show you guys. You guys know this. These are my little fairy offerings. You can't see that good because it's dark in here for the ambiance. But it's flowers, it's crystals, it's dried fruit. There's fig in here. I also carry a piece of tourmaline in here. These are little tips that I do that's weird, I know. But it's not weird, actually. It's the way I do things, man. It's for protection, you know, against their little mischievous ways. And I also sprinkle it with it's sprinkled with in here too, for protection for them. They'll also help with healing. If you call on them and they do believe you are worthy and they are ready to work with you, they will help you with healing. They will help you with wealth. They'll help you with love. There's so many things that they're capable of helping you with. It's pretty cool. And once you get to know them and work with them, it's kind of cool. I've always worked with Pan, right? And Pan's always been one with the nymphs. I mean, nymphs and fairies are different, but it's all kind of the same world. You know what I mean? Like the fairies live in the forest, like among the ferns and the trees, and that's where they like it the best. It is. They like parks. I mean, as long as there's, it's a nice park with lots of trees and like garden patches and butterflies and stuff like that. So, has anybody ever think they've ever seen one before? I mean, do you think if this is why I wanted to do it outside, because when we're doing this, sometimes you'll capture them on film, and they're all around outside. And you'll see them a lot on my videos because we're usually outside, which is pretty cool. They're very helpful for me. And here's actually something pretty cool too that I loved when I found this out. You find things out about yourself. You find yourself along the way, along your journey. And I have a good friend who came over and she helped me bless my land and everything. And she told me that I had a big job to do. And I am supposed to cross the Fae over when one passes, because when you're doing things like clearing a negative entity off your land, which we did here because I had brought an attachment home from one of the shows that I do. You go and vend it, you show these shows and stuff, and I think it was a witches festival I did, and I brought home a nasty old woman, and she was outside in my shed. My husband, who is a skeptic, I didn't tell him that my friend was coming over, and she's a shaman, she's a high priestess and everything. And I've told you this story before, how we were walking around my yard with, the drum, and I live in a suburban neighborhood kind of. And then I had the smoke, and we're all chanting, and there was 3 of us. But we called upon, like I said, huntress warrior fays who help you fight these kind of things. Well, we lost one during battle. And it was really sad. I felt it. I cried. I actually did. I teared up and stuff. And you feel it all. And I guess one of the big things, this is where I found out that I am meant to do, which is probably why I built everything I did, is to cross them over when they pass. And there's certain signs that I have to look for when this happens. And when they pass, I leave an offering on the bridge on the other side, kind of crossing over the bridge. And it's an offering of tobacco, meat, and flowers and stuff like that. There's a whole mixture. And then you drum. You do a little drumming, and there's a little, sometimes light language, fey language that comes out. And it's actually quite beautiful. It really is. And not only that, all the other, little things that are out there. And I guess I'm looked up to by them. And yeah, there's so much to it. There's so much I found out about myself, which was really cool. Yeah. And my spiritual father, if you will, and one of my deities is Pan. You guys know that, right? Um, and I think this is why I'm so into earth. And I told you before, when I get in my power mode, I have horns. They're not evil. They're the round. It's how I envision it. I have the wings. This is another thing that we should talk about at some point, because there are other people that experience this stuff too and just are afraid to talk about it. So I see myself in him a lot, and I guess I'm like a higher, powerful, what do you call it? Like, I don't want to say dark fae because I'm not evil or anything, kind of like a shadow. I've been told, because here's the funny thing, now we're rolling into everything. Yes. I've been told that I always referred myself as like a light worker, light language, this and that. But then I was sitting there with one of my friends, the high priestess and everything, and she said, no, I get basically a shadow worker is what she got. I was like, really? What does that even mean? At first I was like, oh my God, but I don't even know, but I get it. Now it goes. Of course. This is why I want to talk about all this stuff. It's, what was I saying? That's my ADHD, though. That's the problem. Oh, yes. So, shadow workers. So basically, I work with light and dark. There's a good balance there for me. And I'm able to help people with their light and their dark and balance them and help them through hard times and help them navigate. And throughout my whole life, I've always been that person that people call. So I get it now. You know what I mean? You figure things out and then you get it like, oh my God, yeah, that makes sense. Totally. Yes, there was a question. So is Pan a specific fae? Pan is not a fae, no. Um, I brought Pan into the world because Pan is, kind of like the god of that world, the god of the enchanted, the forest, the nature, the earth, there's Gaia, but, and they're all kind of together, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah, there is a yin and yang energy, totally. The whole thing works for me. And if you think about it, I am a very passionate person. I'm a very loving person. I'm a very flighty person. I'm a very sparkly person. I'm a very fun person. So it makes sense. Like I said, everything, the pieces kind of all fall together. You know what I mean? And I see why I'm surrounded by fae, and they don't really mess with me. That's why I say not everybody has to be afraid of them. You got to kind of just know that as long as you have good intentions and you leave, they like to be left things. Sometimes they can be just a little selfish. Sorry. But they want things. So yeah. But always look for them when we are doing a labyrinth walk, or I got to go back and look for that man in that last labyrinth walk we did too. But always look for them in a labyrinth walk, or when you're outside, you see a lightning bug, you see all that kind of stuff. These are all the things that kind of go together with all of that magical world that I love so much. And when I'm out there, this is why I wish that I didn't live in a suburban neighborhood. You wouldn't know it because my backyard is so beautiful. And we back up to the forever wild. But one of these days I need a little land and I need my own space. I want a donkey too, but it has nothing to do with it. And I want a bonfire and a nice everything like this so we can be outside with the nature and I can do what I need to do and not have to worry about the neighbors, you know what I mean? And become even more in my elements. Yes, Pan is considered a Greek god or a deity, and he's one of the deities or gods that I follow. And that's where I bring in the lust, because he's also known for he's very lustful and playful and mischievous, just like the fairies are. Pan was in love with the nymphs. Now, the difference between a nymph and a fairy, I don't know if many of you know this, but a nymph is more basically a lot like a fairy, but they are life size. I want to say they're shapeshifters, but I'm not exactly sure. But the fairies are the tiny ones. Sometimes you see them in dragonflies, you see them in little things. You know what I mean? Like you can say, oh, that looks like, could be. Sorry if I missed that. So yeah, that's the difference. But he was in love with one of the nymphs specifically, and but he loved them all. He loved them all because he was a very, like I said, lustful, passionate beast, if you will. But he wasn't evil. Just because something has horns doesn't mean that they're evil. He's a protector. I use him a lot for protection, especially when I'm in the labyrinth and stuff. And he's always been a protector in my life without me even knowing it. I went to Salem at one point. Until you explained just now, I would not know the difference. Yeah, a lot of people don't. And that, I didn't for a long time. And then I was like, once I dove in more about Pan, because I found out my relations with him, I needed to know. I'm like, I wonder this. So I kind of went down that rabbit hole, and that's how I found out. But yeah, so that's, I think, also where I fall into that thing, because I have that passionate part about me like him too. The whole world is really beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's funny because when I cross that bridge, anything we do in the labyrinth, but when I cross that bridge, I breathe. I feel it. I feel it. I feel like I just enter into a realm and it's different and I see it all and it's all there. I've even seen like the shadow of Pan back there watching him. I've called on his protection before. He was there when we did the ritual to do the necklaces, which was pretty cool. He is the god of shepherds' flocks, the wild in nature, and he is associated with fertility, sexuality, and music. Pan is also known as the companion of nymphs, yes, and is often depicted with, oh, I can't see your whole entire thing. Hind quarters, legs, and horns of a goat, yes. And it's funny because you see so many. I have a really good statue that I got of him for my birthday that I absolutely love upstairs from my sister Jen. Yes, and he's always around me. You'll feel him a lot around me. And also, I'm starting to realize, it's funny because for the longest time I worked with Hecate, and I love her, I do, but I'm starting to think I'm being called on by Morgana. Don't think I am, I'm being called on by her, and the whole thing's just starting to make sense. I gotta learn more about her, which is pretty cool. I'd love for that to be a topic too, because I've had a couple different deities come to me that I have not worked with yet, and I don't know why they're coming to me. And I get them in the shower. A lot of them come to me in the shower, and I've heard that's because, like I said, we're washing everything away, we're cleansed, we're relaxed. He loves the labyrinth. The labyrinth is his space, man. And I think that he loves all of us too. So, and he likes the whole thing that's going on. And the fairies love it too. They all love it. It's the perfect little thing I got going on over there. But yeah, it's these are the things I love talking about, because like I said, so many people don't know. Let me see if I have anything in my notes that I wanted to talk about that I may have forgotten. See, I don't even need notes. I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. Does anybody have any questions? So yeah, when you work with the Fae, leave them offerings. Be nice to them. I like the ones you're speaking of. He definitely hangs out a lot. Yeah, I have, these are all the things, like I said, people will ask me about, and it's funny because I'll try to explain these things to people that don't really understand this kind of thing. And they'll be like, "Well, what do you mean, when you see a fairy, what do you mean? Do you see it? Do you physically see it, like it's right there and this and that?" People have so many questions, and it's sometimes, yeah, I'll see it, man. I'll see like a something real quick and I'll be like, "Whoa," but it's more like almost like how you see spirit. I don't know if that makes sense. I like the explorer, the deities, and would like to work with them more. And to the Egyptian deities, yes. A lot of there's I that's one thing I think would be a great topic actually, because there's so many I feel like there's some crawling on me every live. Um Sorry about the dog. There are a few of them I'd like to explore. You know what we should do on the next late night chat? We should go. I have a book that I have. It's the Dark Goddesses, and because a lot of people are afraid of the Dark Goddesses. And here's another thing that I like to talk about is all these dark things, because they're dark, because dark, dark, dark doesn't mean that they're bad. Some of them anyway. So that's another thing. We could go through the book and maybe kind of make our way through about some of them and talk about some of them. I think that would be kind of cool because I would like to learn about a few of them as well. And I have not read the whole entire book. Um, I feel like we progress through and are called to work with them as we move through our work here. I feel so too. And that's why I felt like we maybe needed to talk about it because they want to be known, they want to be seen. I just got goosebumps all over because if that's one thing they want you to believe, they want you to see them, they want you to work with them. You know what I mean? They're so many things do, and you just got to open your mind and pay attention and listen to the things around you. You know what I mean? And you'll see. I did that. I asked to see. I asked to see everything. I mean, some of the things I've seen were not great in life. I mean, just in general, like, let me see. I'm ready to see things. But oh, I was talking about Pan too. Uh, Visual or audio and feeling of it. Yes, it can be any of the clairs, I guess you would say, all of our senses. I feel so alone with what I go through, not too many to talk to about what's going on with me. I love that you're sharing. Well, I'm glad that you're here because, and that's the thing. Like my husband, he doesn't get it. When I told him I saw my first fairy, like big time in the shower. That's where she was so gorgeous, like I said. And I was like, "Oh, look at you!" Took my thought. He was like, "Are you all right? Do I need to like?" I mean, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. And there's a lot of people, muggles, that just don't understand. And I joke and say muggles, but they don't understand because they don't have. And here's the funny thing. I was going to say they don't have these gifts, but everybody have these gifts. It all depends on how open you are and in tune to them you are. If you're willing to let them in and open up your higher self, your crown, your third eye, you know what I mean? You're going to see and you're going to feel more because we all have these abilities and they grow as we work with them, but you can't be afraid of it. You got to let it in. You can't what if it. You can't. I did that for years. And this is the first time I'm actually coming out and going live and talking to everybody about these things. You know what I mean? Like light language. I just built like a little tiny website that's going to be mobile so I can help work sessions to people. I ordered crystal singing, holding things that I'm going to clear your chakras with light language. Um, so there's so many things that, and I wouldn't have done that if we didn't all talk about it. We weren't ready to move forward, but something's kicking me in the ass to talk about these things. So, I did. I love that. I think that's very cool. Dark is not bad. It feels like home a lot, and that's because you're maybe more at home with it. To move out of fear into our duality. Yes, exactly. Same thing. And we're not. And we're not. And not everybody's ready to. They're on a whole different level on this journey than we are. You know what I mean? We've leveled up. We're there. We're ready. We're ready to learn. We're ready to know. We're ready to use our highest abilities, our capabilities. And dark is not bad. bad, and I've come a long way, and I've went through a lot of shit just like many of us. And that's the thing, a lot of us are like, oh, this person had never had a problem, this person has a perfect life, and this and that. And that's not true. Everybody's got problems. And I think once you learn to the shit doesn't end, but once you learn how to work with your light and your dark, it's a whole new world. You look at things differently. um you look at things differently, you know. And I love that one quality that I have to be able to do that. You know what I mean? It's a good balance I have. I'm not saying it's perfect, because nothing's perfect, but it's a good balance I have, to where naturally, even if I didn't, my whole life growing up as a kid, even I remember I've always helped people through things. I've always dark things into the light, dark things. When I tell you I've helped people through dark things, I've helped some people through fucking dark things. Things I don't speak of, because when you talk to me about something, I don't tell anybody. So it's between you and me. If you say don't tell anybody, I'm gonna tell anybody. So I've helped people through some shit. And even on top of my own shit. And there's so many out there that I think are shadow workers, if you will, as opposed to light workers. And they, like I did, I called myself the light worker, but I'm more of a shadow worker. And I like that. I don't mind that at all. I don't. The light still comes through me a lot with the light language and stuff, you know? And think about it. If you didn't balance the shadow with the light, there wouldn't be the warrior light language that comes out when you need that strength and that power to get through. Oh, it wants to come through right now. It's like it's ready. I've had a lot of warrior come through lately. Must be getting us ready for something. I'm not quite sure, but a lot of warrior-esque vibes. I feel it. I see it. When I do the light language, I see myself differently. I don't know if you guys do that too. I think you do. Some of you do. When I speak light language, I see myself differently. I see myself as my soul being. When I get in protection mode, I see my horns. I feel my wings. All those things. I work with the criminally insane, so yeah, that's got to be tough. Like the light in the dark. I love that part of me. You are, Melissa. I just heard it. I heard that. I did. And that's one thing I'm starting to voice a lot too, is, come with what I hear if it comes through strong enough. And I am too. And those of you that are like, you can't, that's why I make all those videos of, keep shining your light. Don't let anybody take it away from you, because when they try to take it away from you, it's just because they want that. They're jealous, and they're not at that level to get there to have that. You know what I mean? So, and we attract a lot. When you are a beacon of light in a dark, you attract a lot of shit. Which is, once you balance it out, it's a good feeling, because you're helping people. I look at it that way too. I'm not educational, but I sort of think that working with through the shadow things, one's light. And it does, Krista, it does. You have to work through your shadow to get to your light. You know what I mean? Your light's always there, but to get to really get there, you got to work through the dark. And then once you work through the dark is where you find that balance, between the light and the dark, is getting through the darkness to get the balance to the light. Does that make sense? I'm not the best at explaining things sometimes, but if you stash, I can't be serious ever. If you stash your darkness in the back, and you don't deal with your problems, and you don't face it and figure out ways to overcome it and work with it and deal with it, you're not going to get rid of it. You're not going to be balanced, and you're going to be more in that darkness, and you're going to have depression. You're going to have more stress. You're going to have stuff that you don't even know that's stressing you out and depressing you, because it's here and you don't even know it. You know what I mean? It's always fucking here. So once you deal with that darkness, not like I said, there's always shit in life. It doesn't make everything perfect, but it helps you deal with life better. It helps you think about things, learn how to work through things, and yeah. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I hope I am. Oh, you are welcome. You are always welcome. Oh, that's funny. Um, that's a question because you know what? Sometimes that is the therapy. That's what I'm hearing and that's what I feel and that's what I get and I really kind of believe that. I wouldn't be where I've had therapists, love therapists. They're great. They help you deal with a lot of shit, especially if you know one that knows you're spiritual and you do with it. I kind of thought that was you. uh, but I healed myself doing my own shadow work, really. You know what I mean? I went within to kind of heal, and it took a lot because only and I'm trying to teach my son this, who's 25, who goes through depression. You are the only one that can heal yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. You have to want to, and you have to do it. And like a lotus, like I always refer to it, you have to go through the shit to come up beautiful, you know? And there's always going to be shit. Again, I'll keep throwing that in there because life is not perfect. It's perfectly imperfect, you know? Of course, yeah. And yeah. And that's good. Your people need you. You know what I mean? So don't stop doing what you're doing. And it's good that you recognize that. This is right on my face. It's good that you recognize that. Going with is super important. So, and you know what? Here's the thing. There's a lot of people who are going to tell you what you need to do, you know? But only you can figure that out. Go within, go to your intuition, your gut, and your gut's going to tell you what you need to do. And you know, the thing about the gut is even if you don't want to fucking hear it, you know it's right when you get that kind of feeling. Even it's like, fuck, I don't want that to be the answer. It is, it's always right. So if you don't think you need to do that, and you think you can go within and find somebody spiritual teacher that can help you do this, a shaman or someone that can work you through this, yeah, let me go back and see if I've missed any questions. Gotta be replay careful with someone else's option before you learn to trust yourself and your own guides. Nobody can know you or knows you like you're. Exactly. No mud, no lotus. Exactly. Learn meditation. Just close your eyes and find your inside yourself. And you know, yeah, exactly. And the other thing too is like when you're going through the shit. If you're like me, I don't want to call anybody, I don't want to bother anybody. I deal with it internally and I figure it out. I deal with it myself. You're not alone. Even though it feels like we're alone because we're different, I guess people would say. This is why I built this community. You know, we're all here for each other. We're all here to talk to each other. Not even just through this elemental late night chat or enchanted late night chat. On the group page, ask questions, chime in, talk to one another, you know, grow as a family. Because there's so many of us that should voice the experiences because you're not weird, you're not crazy, you're not this, you're not that. It's real. It is. I've had some weird fucking shit happen, man. Weird shit. So I know it's all out there. I know it's all real because I've experienced it and nobody can take that away from me. People can judge me. People can say, no, she didn't. She's making it up. Blah, blah, blah. She's fake. She's this and that. Say what you want, man, because I know the truth and I know what I see. I know what I experience. I know what I feel. I know I'm not crazy. I know the difference between A, B, and C. You know what I mean? Voices in my head as opposed to spirit. Heal spiritually. I think for me, therapy would be just to know, and here's the thing, Brandy. There are so many people that are ADHD, including myself, that are bipolar, that are this, that are that. Just because you put a brand on it, which when we were kids, Gen X, there were no brands on it. You know what I mean? Uh, there wasn't a lot of brands. There's a lot. I know so many people that are bipolar. Doesn't make them a bad person. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's a label, and it's yes, there's medication for it and stuff like that, which does help. I'm not against the medication. My son is on medication, which does help, and it's not something you always have to be on. You know what I mean? But I also really think that between the medication, you don't necessarily need therapy, but just working within, or your therapy could be a spiritual coach. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be a therapist. You know what I mean? Because if I were to go to a therapist and they say, "Do you hear voices?" and I said, "Yeah, I hear lots of them. I see things too." They'd probably say I was crazy, I was mental, I was bipolar, I was this, I was schizophrenic. But I'm not. It's because I see spirit, I connect, I this, I that. And within this community, you find all these other people that do the same, so you know the difference. And once you learn the difference between, seeing and, spiritually, as opposed to somebody who does have a sickness, who does have schizophrenia or something like that, there is a difference, you know? Exactly, Chris. Exactly. So, this is, like I said, this is another reason why I created this community and these chats like this, because everybody needs a safe space to talk about things like this. And like I just said a second ago, if I were to get a regular therapist as opposed to a spiritual therapist, I don't think I'd say yeah when they told me or asked me if I heard voices. I'd be like, no, good, not we're good. I heard nothing. you know. Uh, I was told I was weird or hushed so much when I was young. I know that those weird. I was the black sheep. I'm still told today that I'm weird. My dad just told me I was weird not too long ago when I went to see him, and I haven't seen him in so long. First thing, you're weird. I know. It's great, isn't it? When you're weird, people love you, man. I mean, unless you're not like creepy weird, like killer weird. I just watched a movie last night and there was a really weird guy. There's different weirds. Um, but I'm weird. I'm fucking weird, okay? And it's fine. I love being weird. If I wasn't weird, I wouldn't be me. And yes, I was picked on growing up. I was like always, I was picked on, yeah, because I wasn't the coolest. And but it turned out the coolest, didn't I? Cool kid. I'm totally kidding. Um, and it does hurt your feelings when you're younger, because at that point we don't know how to process it. And again, we're born into this world, love and light, and we learn hate. We learn all that shitty shit from society as we get older. And we learn hurt. We learn, having our feelings hurt and being crushed. And this is another reason why inner child work is good too. I'll throw that out there. Inner child work is great. Again, you're going to need like a spiritual coach or somebody like that to help you with that. It's wonderful because you have to go in and forgive your child, your childhood self. The one that I learned from, I literally would sit in a chair and have a picture of my younger self in another chair, and I would forgive her, and I would tell her how much I loved her, and that it's okay. You weren't weird. It's this and that. And I get goosebumps talking about it because it really helped me, and it helped me work a lot. It helped me do shadow work, forgiving my childhood self. And I would see her sitting in that chair, and I would see her being happy, like feeling the love that I was giving her, you know? And then in turn, after that was done, then you turn around, you do it vice versa. You're the little girl telling the adult that your adult self, adult Georgia, you're this, you're that. I love you unconditionally. And it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, and it really does help. I'm going to go back and look and see if there's any more questions. As a mental health professional, medicine can be very important. Yes. Yes. That's what I tell my son too, and I got him to actually, start depression medication and anxiety medication. It's the mix there, because I said to him, it can get you to where you need to be. You don't have to be on it forever, but sometimes we're chemically imbalanced chemically imbalanced. I'm not smart when it comes to that kind of stuff. And we need it. You know, I've had anxiety medications. I've learned to work through that. And guess what? I don't need it anymore. But in my 20s, oh yeah, I was on Klonopin, man. I needed it. I needed it because I had panic attacks so bad I couldn't even go into like a freaking Target. I couldn't. I had wicked anxiety. But it got me through until I learned meditation and I learned to connect with earth and I learned to ground. So it isn't, I'm not against that at all. It totally does help. I love it. And you gotta love yourself. That's a huge thing too. Cool. Okay, retype that one. I didn't see what it was. Yeah, that's funny. The cool kids. The day I'm not weird is the day I need to figure out what. Exactly. The day that I become normal and like, you know, just normal, somebody needs to take me aside and shake me around and say, Georgia, wake the fuck up. But that'll never happen because I'm very comfortable where I am and I like who I am. And yeah, I see fairies. Yeah, I see spirit. Yes, I talk to, you know, weird shit and I talk to spiders. I was talking to a jumping spider today. My husband's like, and yeah, but you know what? It's fine. And a very young inner age, so inner child work would, you should really look into it because it's really it really need to love yourself and tell your inner child and your little Brandy that you love her and that she's okay and that what she went through was not her fault, and that's very important to do. Yes, it really is, Melissa. Hey, we made it. Come on, we make it. Let's go. Exactly. You need to work together with your child self. You know what I mean? And once that love radiates. Hi, Sherry. How are you? Chemically imbalanced. Yeah. Okay. I'm all caught up now. The mental and behavioral work in with the physical meds for them to work their job. Exactly. And it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Alexa, continue.
Resuming Amazon Music.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think we're getting to going down that rabbit hole just to let you know that you're not weird. You're welcome here. You're not judged. This is where we come to talk about these things. And I think tonight we talked about some really cool shit. Yeah, we kind of went down a few rabbit holes after the fairies, but that's okay because that's what this is all about. Weird is my norm. The one emotion. Sorry, I thought I saw some. The one emotion I'm left with is anger, and I'm not an angry person. Yes, and that, but you can get rid of that anger. You can too. You know, I used to have road rage really bad. It's something I struggled with. I could have flipped you off if I know you and you're from Syria. I'm so sorry for those days. Not to say I don't have my moments now, but not like I used to be. Um, but again, shadow work took a lot of shadow work, you know. Another thing I don't do anymore, and some people are like, yes, you do. Everybody does. I'm like, no, not everybody does. I don't judge people. I don't. Not even a homeless person. I look at that homeless person and I see a soul. I feel bad. You know what I mean? Um, I wish I could help. You know, I don't look at them and think, ew, and this and that. So it's a whole different level when you look at people differently, or when somebody cuts you off in traffic and instead of flipping them off and getting in a fight with them, you know, maybe they're headed to the hospital. Maybe they just found out a loved one's in the hospital. You know, maybe they're just having a bad fucking day, you know? So I'm done with all of that. And now what I do, which is hilarious, is when somebody flips me off, if I cut them off or if I'm having a bad day and I don't know it and I piss somebody off, they give me the finger, I look at them and I go, number one, there's no middle fingers flung. Kind of turns the attitude around and people start laughing about it, and it makes it a little better. Um, I was at a place I couldn't feel anger. Anger is an important red flag to help you identify what you need to, yes, turn around and be grateful for. Yes, my son deals with anger. I try so hard to work with him on it. when they don't live with you, it's harder. You know, it's harder for you to work with them on things. But he has a very bad anger issue, but he's also, you know, works with or is dealing with depression. So it kind of is coexisting together. So it's like I said, it's a process. He'll get better. I know he will. Back to the fairies. One of my author friends writes a fairy garden. Oh my God, really? I love that. Oh, hey, how many of you would like, I've been, before I got my fiance now, I always say they dark place. So you have to find out where that anger lies and you have to let it go. You have to let it be. Remember, everything that has happened in the past, Brandy, we cannot undo. As shitty as it is, we have to accept it and let it go. Because if we don't, your whole life is going to just weigh you down like it is. Even if it was the hardest, worst thing you've ever been through and it hurt you and it tore your soul out and it crushed you, you have to do this work, the inner child work, the shadow work, and you have to breathe it away. Breathe it out into the earth. Let Gaia take it. Because you can't go back and you can't fix it. You can only move forward. And the only way to move forward is to let that go. He's 25. The book. I don't know what book we're talking about. I lost that. I didn't see that. He's 25 and he's been going through this for almost a couple years now. It's been tough. It's getting better, but it's taken a long fucking time. CBT and DBT are great tools that help. Are those like the oh God, what do you call it? Like what is that? I don't know what that is. The hardest thing is the people that hurt you not acknowledging that they did because it's such a deep hurt, but I know that you can't let it hinder your healing, and you're never going to get anything from those people, and those people in their own way will have their own karmatic things happen in time. I mean, karma doesn't come tomorrow, the next day. It could come tomorrow, the next day, but it could come in years from now. You don't know, but it will come. And but you can't make that happen. But being bitter and being angry, negativity and demons and all that shit feeds off anger. And just that whole thing, until you let that go, you know what I mean, that stuff is going to follow you. So the more angrier you get about things, the more that feeds on it and it grows. I know things are so hard to let go, but a good thing, and I know this sounds different, but lay on the earth, literally just lay there. You're going to cry, you're going to feel all sorts of feelings, but imagine Gaia holding you and kind of pulling you into the earth with you, with her, and just absorbing all your tears, all your sadness. This is making me cry. I don't know if I'm feeling you. And just become one with it and let her take it, let her have it, because they're all ghosts. I'm getting so like teary, I'm gonna cry. They're all ghosts, they're all demons that you need to give to her and let go. And this is what I'm getting, and I'm getting wicked teary-eyed and I'm crying now. But I'm feeling it so strongly. I see you doing this and I feel that it will help you. Oh my God, are you crying right now? Because this isn't mine. I mean, I get emotional, but wow. Yeah, so I see that for you, and I see that being very good for you. I don't know why I just got so emotional there. Jesus. Sending hugs to everyone. I'm sending hugs to all you guys. Oh yeah, you should post some of the books. That would be great. I think that's a great idea. I think that would help a lot of people. Yeah, I think we all have. I used to too, and sometimes I still do if I'm going through a hard time. My thing is, I like to take a ride. I like to take a drive in the back hills, out by the horse farms. Again, Earth sign. Um, I need to connect and I need to get away and I need to let it out to the universe. That's what I do when I'm sad, and it feels good. Mystery series, among others. I'm going to screenshot that, and you guys will probably hear that. Sorry if you did. Uh, but I love the fairies. Go back to the fairies. They are my friends. I love them very much. Don't disrespect them. Work with them. Leave them offerings. They are not evil. They are not out to get with you. Yes, or get you. Yes, they may want to play some tricks on you, like hide your keys, steal your thoughts. They may fuck with you a little bit. Now, if you fuck with them, though, then they might get a little bit more nasty. So just don't fuck with them. They won't fuck with you. You know, they want to be treated well as you want to be. You treat people like you want to be treated, as it should be. You know, I think that's very important. So don't be afraid. Leave them offerings. Leave a little honey in a dish. Um, Leave them some sprinkles of herbs and figs and flowers, and they'll be happy. And leave a little meat out there, a little beef jerky for the huntress ones. Resources, but let your spirit guides direct you to the ones that are for you. Yes, I think that's a great idea too. La. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. That one really helped me too. I did the audiobook because I don't read so great. I read fine. I just am not. I like to listen because I like to visualize. The Power of Now, that really helped me. That's another one that was in the beginning when I started dealing with um, a lot of anxiety and stress, because it helped me kind of get in the now, because we're here, we're right now, and it's so true. There's not yesterday, there's not even tomorrow yet. We're right here. What's going on right now? It's beautiful right now. It's really nice right now. We have a beautiful little community. We're all talking and having a good time. The pretty color aurora borealis that's not real is behind me, and it's nice. We're in the now. So that's a great book as well. I've had them take crystals and hide them in crazy places. They do. They totally will hide. They steal my, like I said, I have the green fairy. She steals my thoughts a lot. She does it to me a lot. It gets a little annoying. I have to call on the other fairies sometimes to get my thoughts back. I'm like, I'm, and I see her do it. It is. It's a really good book. It helped me, like I said, a lot. We'll post it. We'll start a little thing. We can do it on the Elemental Enchantments page for everyone to see. We'll put up a book, like a little book club. I think that would be cool. Pop up that progress your journey. Exactly. Like, for instance, there are some of you that might be interested in this Dark Goddess book. I have a lot of books, actually. I do have a lot of those kind of books that have helped me in many different ways. Oh, this is what I wanted to ask before we call it a night, because I am going to call it a night. I like to color because I'm 5 and I'm a fairy at heart. So I do. I love to color with colored pencils. There are these beautiful, they're adult coloring books. Do you guys like adult coloring books? That's where I'm going at. They have fairy adult coloring books, and the fairies are gorgeous. So I was thinking about bringing some of those to the table for people to color. It's a very beautiful way to relax your mind and create some art and just be in the moment. I like to do it outside. I've always loved to color since I was a little girl. We'd love that, the book club. We'd love to see what you are reading or suggest. Yes, love the color. If you prefer physical books, thrift books is the best way. Yeah, I'll start something after this. I'll go on and I'll start something. And I will get those coloring books because they are so fucking cute. They really, really are. And they have the packs of the pencils too. They have metallics. They have all sorts of really cool things. But I ordered myself some. It's the way I release. I'm so glad everybody else loves the colors. See how much we're all alike? I can't do coloring books. ADG and OCD scream at me, and I have to color when I was young. Oh, see, it relaxes my mind. I do sometimes get up and leave it. I can't guarantee I'm gonna do that, just like my projects. If you were to see my project room upstairs, I have like 10 different projects started and shit everywhere. Oh, I love that, Kathleen. You make greeting cards. I have a colored book I haven't colored in a while. You should color, Melissa. Freehand and scribble and write, but I can't color. I think you can color. I think you can color. I do. Well, yeah, maybe you just are like, what about paint? What about painting? Painting is fun. New colored pencils. Oh, I love that. Yeah, so I'll get some coloring books because they are beautiful coloring books. I don't know how long it'll take them to get here, but I'll order them. I wanted to see. And then I'll put a book club thing up for all of us to talk about the book clubs. And you know what would be kind of cool? What do you guys think about this? Difficult, but I used to enjoy it. Hi. Sorry, I was just, I totally just spaced out right there. I was totally reading everything. This is if you guys were comfortable with it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how comfortable anybody would be like that. But if you have, in the book club, we could start like a book club, suggest books, and then maybe you could, I was gonna say share the books, but no, I don't think anybody wants to like mail shit out and stuff like that. The horn, by the way, got to Christy Willis, I think, so I'm super excited to see where that's at. See, my mind's all over the place. But yeah, we'll figure something out. But I do like the book club idea. I really do. So I will work on posting something like that so you guys can start putting down suggestions and stuff. I think that would be awesome. Or maybe something if anybody had any books that they were done that they wanted to donate. You know, something that if they're done with any books, because I know I have a few books that I'm done with that I would donate to somebody who needed, you know what I mean, to stuff like that. I don't know. Journal, I am interested, or share parts for discussion. We could even do just, we could do some of these little chats like this. We could have a book club night where we talked about a certain book. We could do stuff like that too. I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to figure something out. Awesome. Yeah. And you know, on here, it does give me the option to pull somebody else live with me. So if anybody, I think I could, I have to figure that out. Maybe I could bring somebody live with me one night and we talked about one of the topics, you know what I mean? It'll be like a go live with me one night and talk about one of our little topics or a book or something like that. Because I think I can bring you live with me. It's like you're sitting right here with me. We can see each other. A book club night, yeah. I'll even read. I'm not, you'll have to get to see me in my glasses. Oh God, what am I putting myself out there for? I'm not a good reader. It's fine. It's fine. I'm putting myself out there. But if you wanted me to, I would. I would do anything you guys want. Well, almost anything. All right, guys. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining me. Chris, I will message you and we'll talk about the book club thing. We can put something together to put it on the page. I think that would be cool. I love you guys. Thank you for coming. Me too. Many blessings to you all. Love and light. Mwah. Bye. Sleep sweet. Have a beautiful night, guys.